RedCloud, when are you going to make a video about new settings? This is the video. Okay, this is the video that you want to be watching. Okay, guys, what's up? It's your boy RedCloud. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys the absolute best settings for Warzone for high-end PCs, low-end PCs, some AMD PCs, and I'm going to be going over some optimal settings for just overall best performance for your entire PC. So guys, stay tuned, be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe, and let's get right into it. All right guys, first things first, we're going to update our PC. Going to hit the Windows key, press update, check for updates right here. If you see that you need updates, update your PC, restart the PC, then come back to the video. Be sure to like it as well. Then if you have your up to date, good for you. Let's go back to the home, hit over here to gaming real quick, then go to the Xbox game bar, take all this stuff off. You don't want it on at all. Captures, you want all this stuff off as well. You want it on the lowest quality possible and make sure that it's off, because this will cuck you really hard. Game mode, you want this on, and you want it to be on the latest up-to-date Windows, because the latest up-to-date Windows, game mode actually helps you. So that's something really, really useful. The next thing, and another reason why you want Windows up-to-date, is you want to go to your graphics settings. Graphics settings are going to allow us to enable hardware accelerated GPU scheduling, which basically means that your computer has a little bit of reduced latency. If this does not help you, you probably have like an AMD card or a lower gen, like let's say 7 series GTX card, or even lower than that. But anything above like the 9 series, I believe, should be able to run this pretty well. Or if you have an AMD card, like I said, you probably want to have like a newer gen AMD card. So like a 5600 XT or whatever it may be, in case you got that. Let's go down to the desktop app. This is where we're going to go and find Modern Warfare. And this will allow us to select the performance mode that Modern Warfare runs on. So choose an app, preference setting right here to desktop app, browse. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find where Warzone is installed. I just want to let you know that if you have Warzone installed on a crappy hard drive, let's say it's super old, you obviously like is the only place that you had space on to install it, or your entire operating system is installed on that hard drive with Modern Warfare on there, your game is going to suffer dramatically. I'm talking like your load times are going to be probably like the highest it could be, because your operating system and Warzone are installed on the same hard drive. You're definitely, it's just not going to run well, man. Like hard drives are dated. They're not good to run on unless you have a high performance hard drive. I have a 4 terabyte like high performance hard drive. So it's acceptable. But if you don't, I highly suggest investing in an SSD and putting your operating system on that SSD as well as Modern Warfare. And I'll show you guys a little bit about how you can save some storage when you're installing that in a little bit. All right, now that we've sidetracked enough, we're going to go down to modernwarfare.exe, press add. I already have it added, obviously. So we're going to go down here, go to options, and then we're going to, instead of letting Windows decide, we're going to hit high performance, hit save, bam. Now Warzone is going to be on high performance mode for your PC every single time, guaranteed, even if your PC is not on high performance mode. And the other thing that you could do to get on high performance mode is go to your home settings, and then you're going to go to system, then go down to power and sleep, then go down to additional power settings, or you could just type power and sleep settings if you hit the Windows key. And then I have ultimate performance enabled. Some PCs can't actually access this mode, so I don't suggest it for everybody, especially if you have a low-end PC. And there's basically like a 1% difference between this and high performance. So honestly, if you only see high performance, just click high performance. You're chilling, bro. Don't worry about it. I use ultimate performance, though, when I'm using my PC for gaming. And that is about it for our Windows settings. All right, guys, this next tip is for you guys who have low space on your hard drives, SSDs, or whatever it may be. You can hit options, go to modify install, hit Warzone, modify install here, uncheck all of these, and bam, you just save yourself like a ton of storage, and you only have to install Warzone. All right, guys, before we get into the game, I just want to let you guys know that you do want to have your graphics card up to date. So if you guys don't know how to do that, be sure to check the links in the description below for NVIDIA GeForce Experience and Adrenaline, I believe, from AMD. So what I'll do is I'll hit my Windows key and type GeForce Experience. Coolio, we're gonna launch this up, and I did this on purpose. I actually have a graphics driver update. So what you'll do here is you'll hit download, and that'll download, and then reinstall it. You might have to restart your PC and come back to the video, and that will help you guys out dramatically. Once you guys have that installed, what you'll do is you'll go to NVIDIA control panel, especially for my guys with GTX cards, and you're going to go to adjust image settings with preview. This is just the basic performance increase. If you guys want an more in-depth guide for this, I can do something for you guys later, but let me know in the comment section below if you guys want a actual video about that. What you'll do, usually this is on let 3D application decide. You want this on use my performance, emphasizing performance. Hit apply, and then you're chilling. That's what I use for my settings. If you guys need the AMD version of this, look up in the card above. There should be an AMD link to you guys for my video. All right, guys, so this is for the high-end PCs. What you guys will want to do is pay attention closely to this. If you guys have a low-end PC, what you'll want to do is go to the timestamp in the description below and check that out, and it'll skip right to those settings. So for me, for those high-end PCs, I use full screen borderless. We lose about like 5 to 10 FPS here, but that's what I personally use because I'm streaming so often. But if you aren't streaming and you just want the best performance, use full screen so that your PC is always dedicating all of its resources to the game. Display adapter, keep that as it is, and then display monitor, you use your main monitor. Screen refresh rate, you want this as high as possible, so 240 hertz monitor, put it at 240 hertz. If it's a 144, you put it at 144. Render resolution's at 100%. I find that if you lower this to like 95, you don't lose a lot of FPS here. You actually gain quite a bit, but you do lose a little bit of quality, so it's up to you. I think that running it at 100% is pretty useful, though. I think it just lets me see enemies a lot better, so that's why I use it on 100%. The other thing is aspect ratio, keep that as it is. Sync every frame disabled, custom frame rate limit. I'll actually pick up my task manager just to show you guys something. So I've got my game currently uncapped, right? So it's at 120 FPS, something like that. Let's go over to our CPU. We're running at 50% right now. Okay, cool. And then what I'll do is I will set my custom cap. My custom cap here is at 69. It's a joke, right? Okay, get it. Press apply, and then go back to my CPU. Look at that. Just dropped 15%. Crazy, right? It's almost like Warzone is a very poorly optimized game or something like that. It's crazy. Also, my GPU, look at that. Just dropped. Wow, like 80%. Wild. Yeah. One thing that you guys might not know is that if you cap your FPS, your PC will literally love you. So that's why I suggest capping your FPS here, which is super vital. Let's say you have an 144 hertz monitor. This is just an example. And you're struggling to maybe get 130 FPS, and you notice that your PC is starting to stutter when it hits like that 144 hertz threshold mark that you want, right? So what you'll do is you'll cap your FPS at 120, because 120 FPS will allow you to still get high FPS, but you're not pushing your CPU as high as you were before, which will basically allow your CPU to not over exceed what it's trying to do. That way you don't throttle, that way you don't stutter, and that way you guys can watch this video once, share it with a friend, and that way you guys can help other people, because trust me, it will help you guys. But anyway, let's go on to the next settings. NVIDIA highlights, we're going to have this disabled. NVIDIA reflex low latency, enable plus boost. Display gamma, keep this on 2.2, and you can restart shaders installation if your game looks super buggy and stuff. So definitely feel free to do that. Streaming quality, put this on low. And then texture resolution, I put this on normal because I find that the game looks like garbage when I have it on super low. So if you find that your game could run better, if you've just got like a super beast CPU or GPU, you can turn this on high if you'd like to, or normal, whatever it may be. But I find that low is a good threshold, especially if all you have is like a 4 gig card. So definitely feel free to just do that if you have like a 4 gig card or something. If you have anything like, let's say, a 2080 Ti, something, keep this on normal, and that'll help you out a bit. Texture filtering, anisotropic, low. Everything here is just going to be on low. Like everything past this point is low. If you guys would like your games to look better, that's up to you. This video is for the most amount of FPS humanly possible in our PCs nowadays. Yeah, I find that post-processing effects are probably some of the most impactful stuff, especially with the blur and the depth of field stuff. So if you turn this stuff off, this will help your frame rate a lot. And then hit apply. And then that should be about it. I get about like 120 plus to 144 FPS while playing. That's because I cap my FPS, like I said. So that's what I do, and it seems to be working really well for me, especially this season. All right, guys, I'm going to show you guys the best settings for low-end computers. What you'll do is you'll set your display mode to full screen, your monitor on the main monitor with the highest refresh rate that you have. Display adapter, you want this obviously on your graphics card. Screen refresh rate, you want this on the highest possible. And then your render resolution. One of these things that I'm going to be frank with you guys, if you guys have a low-end computer, you will most likely not be able to play at 1080p. You guys can test it and feel free to, but I would suggest starting from the bottom up, because this will allow you guys to, detect, okay, I can get 60 frames at 720p. All right, cool. Maybe I could get, 60 frames at 1600 by 900. Okay, now I've got 60 frames here. It's kind of lagging a little bit, but let's try 1080p. It doesn't work at 1080p. Oh, okay, so I'll just go back to 1600 by 900 or a little bit lower. That's totally cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to test the best settings in order to achieve the best settings, which is why I make these videos. Like, I'm also experimenting all the time with the best FPS settings here, because I want the most, the most FPS humanly possible. So what I do, if I had a low-end computer, I wouldn't be ashamed of using 720p. So I would set it at 720p and test higher and higher every single time. All right, guys, so you've got your display resolution set at 720p. And now one of the most important things that we're going to do is we're going to cap our FPS here. So custom frame rate limit, we're going to put this on custom, and we're going to set our frame rate limit to 60. So if you guys are watching this part of the video, you guys have low-end computers, and I guarantee you that just being able to play at 60 is a lot better than being able to play at like 80 or even 90 FPS if your game is stuttering. If you guys experience that your game stutters around like 100 FPS, just cap it at like 90 or 80. But if you guys are barely getting above 60, just cap your FPS at 60 or 50. There's a very small difference between 50 and 60 FPS, so trust me, you guys might gain a bit of performance there if you guys cap it even lower. If you guys are barely getting above like 35 FPS, just cap your FPS at 30. Because I'd honestly rather be able to play at 30 FPS than not being able to play Warzone at all. NVIDIA Reflex Highlights, you want this disabled. And then NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency, you're going to want this disabled as well. Especially if you have an AMD card, you will probably won't even see this. For streaming quality, you want this on low. For texture resolution, you want this on low. Everything here is going to be low. So you want to go through all of this list and turn all of this off. So even everybody who has high-end PCs, we basically use all this stuff off and disabled. So just trust me, you want this off. The other thing that you can do if you guys are struggling, let's say to get like 60 frames and you guys are confused about like why your game is like stuttering or lagging, or whatever it may be, you want to change your dynamic resolution. You can enable this and set this to like 60. But this is only useful if you guys you guys did a misstep and you guys didn't actually set your FPS at a capped FPS, or you guys just improperly did something. So this is just a little safety net for you guys who have come this far and you guys haven't realized that you guys did something wrong. So that's okay though if you did something wrong, because this will actually change your monitor's quality and your game quality so that it runs at 60 frames, or it tries to run it at 60 frames. So I personally keep that disabled and all that stuff disabled. All right, guys, so we're in Warzone right now, and currently I have my settings set on uncapped. The reason why I did this, I want to show you guys actually what happens when you guys have your game on uncapped. So just notice that my GPU and CPU they're kind of well, my GPU is bottlenecking my CPU because it's not as good as my CPU is, right? So my CPU is only going to be around like 50% and stuff like that, which is fine. For this video, I want to show you guys like what actually happens when you guys cap your FPS at a certain point. So my graphics card, like I said, only gets about like 140 to 150 FPS. So for me, what I do is I cap my FPS. So usually it's at 144 because that's the most it can get. So when I hit that, it only stays there, which is fine because like sometimes it does push in the 150s. So it drops about a few percentage and stuff like that, which is cool. But if I really wanted to be effective and reduce any amount of stutters humanly possible, what I would do is I would cap my FPS at 120 or even 130, which is perfectly fine. So let's do 130 just to see what it would be like. We're talking about GPU utilization. So my CPU just dropped down to 35%, 38%. Okay, now it's back up, but that's fine because I'm loading in Warzone, which is the laggiest part of the game. My GPU dropped down to 70% utilization, and my CPU is still around that 50% mark. It's a little bit lower, which is fine. And now my game is running hyper smooth, although it does run perfectly smooth without the cap. But this is useful for all you guys who are struggling to get higher FPS. So, or just in general stuttering when your game is loading up and stuff like that. So I'd suggest capping your FPS, especially if you guys are just new PCs. Oh god, I love this gun so much. And yeah, I mean, like, that literally helps me out so much all the time. I feel like for me, just capping your FPS is something that people don't talk about enough. In videos like the ones that I've watched, or in general, like tips and tricks on how to boost FPS in Warzone. So I think this is one of those things that needs to be addressed, especially for the community of, you know, fine people like yourselves. And I think that, yeah, man, I just hope that this guide helps you guys out in a way that your game just runs smoother. Well, alright guys, I hope this video helped you guys out in a good way. If it did, be sure to like the video. I'm hoping that we can get at least 20 likes on this video. If not, that's okay too. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you again for making my dreams come true. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're almost at 2,000 subs over here. I'd seriously appreciate that. Also, be sure to stop by my stream sometime, guys. I'm live almost every day at twitch.tv/RedCloud. So if you guys would like to hang out over there, even play with me over there, I'd seriously appreciate that as well. Catch you guys later. Hope you have a wonderful day. Peace out.